Attorney General William Barr will be leaving his post sometime before Christmas. President Trump made the announcement Monday. He tweeted he had a, quote, very good relationship with Barr and wished him well. Deputy Attorney General Jeff Rosen will become acting Attorney General next week. Barr touched on the country's political divide in his resignation letter, saying it is, quote, incumbent on all levels of government to do all we can to assure integrity of elections and promote public confidence in their outcome. For more, let's bring in CBSN legal analyst Rebecca Roiphe. She's a professor of law at New York Law School. Rebecca, welcome. It's good to see you again. So this is really fast-moving developments here. William Barr, of course, was viewed as being firmly behind the president, but it was back on December 1st, just a couple of weeks ago, that he gave an interview to the Associated Press in which Attorney General Barr said that there was no evidence of widespread fraud in the election. How would you characterize William Barr's tenure?
So that's a hard question, but I think, for a very long time, as you say, Bill Barr was in lockstep with the president. Many thought if he wasn't doing the president's bidding, he was doing exactly what the president wanted. And frequently the president would tweet what he wanted, an outcome in a particular case, and then Barr would make sure that happened. So if you remember, that happened in the Roger Stone case before he was pardoned, before he was given clemency, and the Michael Flynn case. So it's strange here to see this break between the president and Bill Barr, especially over election integrity. And I think there have been two recent developments, both Barr's statement that there was no significant election fraud and his statement that he had not revealed prior to the election that there were some investigations into Hunter Biden. And so it's interesting because I think Bill Barr's legacy, what would have been, at least among many people who follow these things, that he was in some ways guilty of politicizing the Department of Justice, a department that is supposed to remain neutral and separate from the political branches. But in these last two steps, he looks like he has stood up for an independent prosecutorial arm of government, and that's important. So it's, there's a mixed report card, I guess.
So, Rebecca, as you've been speaking, I'm seeing here from our CBS News producer in Washington, Claire Himes, who covers the Justice Department, just a bit of color. A Department of Justice official tells Claire that that this was amicable, this departure, and that both the Attorney General and the President agreed to the plan of the Attorney General wrapping up over the next weeks and then departing on the 23rd. But let's talk a little bit about this timing here, Rebecca. You have an incoming administration on January 20th. What happens now with this departure of the Attorney General? You have this deputy taking over. Well, what does that actually mean? And what is this likely to do for those folks who are at the Justice Department now? Some of your, I'm sure, former colleagues that you may still know at the Department of Justice who have watched the events transpire under the current Attorney General.
Yeah, this is a surprising event. You would think, frequently presidents fire their attorney general and there may be a situation in which they no longer get along and that, a new, different attorney general might be more effective. But this is a particularly odd, as you say, it's odd timing, and it's odd given the fact that he has been such a staunch defender of the president. So what exactly is the purpose of this is a question. Certainly you could, I guess, imagine have the person stepping in would suddenly reverse course and say, no, in fact, there is election fraud, but that seems highly unlikely. And there are a lot of protections in place to make sure that the next person is not simply somebody else who will do the president's bidding. It would have to have been somebody confirmed by the Senate, which is not going to happen in time before the inauguration. So it seems to me that there is a statement in this, and it's a political statement. It's a statement that President Trump will not stand for anybody getting in his way. And even if they say it's amicable, it's sending that message that he does not agree with his attorney general on this election fraud determination. And this is the consequence. If you stand in his way, this is the consequence. And while there's a little time left, there's still a legacy.
And finally, Rebecca, what can you tell us about Jeffrey Rosen, who's going to step into this role of acting Attorney General once William Barr departs?
So, this is a person who, again, this is not a political partisan person. He's somebody who's served in these sorts of roles in the past. He will probably continue very much as Bill Barr has. He certainly has not expressed any opposition to what Barr has done in the past, and I doubt he would now. But I also don't see him as somebody who would reverse course and suggest all of a sudden what the department had said, the public statement it made, is not accurate. So he's enough of a trustworthy government official that I don't think that, he's simply going to do what President Trump wants because he's now in this position of power.
All right. Well, some fast-moving developments, as we said. Rebecca Roiphe, as always, great to have your perspective and analysis. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you, Elaine.